Let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear me, thumbs up, and let me know where you're joining the live from. So I'm excited to talk about this topic today. So first of all, welcome for the live. What's up, YouTube? Namaskar. Welcome back to my channel. So if you don't know me, this is Aditya Soma, and today I'm going to talk about what's the best time to buy real estate. Best time to buy, is it a winter, summer, or all those things. We'll talk about that. At the same time, I would like to hear from you. Where are you joining live from? Are you from Canada, Ontario, Toronto, Windsor? Where are you joining the live from? Let me know in the chat below. Also, while I'm talking, please feel free to throw your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer. Today I got a lot of questions DMing, that I'm going to answer some of them. So awesome. You can hear me. Fantastic. Toronto, Sharon. Hey, Sharon, welcome. Venkatesh, welcome. Welcome to the live. You're the best, bro. Daily motivation. We are in GTA watching you with wife. Thank you, man. Happy to hear that, Ali. That's a blessing to hear that. So, I got a lot of DMs after this live last week. So feel free to throw your questions while I'm talking. Even if I'm not answering right away, I'll definitely do my best to touch every question. If I don't touch this week, I'll respond next week. So this live will be ongoing basis. So one of the popular questions that I've been getting in recent times is, hey, the market sounds very scary. Like, the prices has been going up for last few years. Do I buy now or do I just wait? And also, like, another question was like, hey, is the winter better time? Is the summer better time? What time is better to buy real estate? So let me start with the first second question, which is like, what time is best time? So my favorite person in real estate is Ryan Cherhan. He says, like, any time is a better time to buy real estate. So I would say the same thing, but a little small version is, any time is a better time to buy, but not every property is best to buy. You got to look at, okay, what can I afford, and can I get something, where I can add value. So no matter what happens to the market, you're already forcing your property value up. So in that case, now if the market fluctuates for a little bit, you're still fine, because you bought the property that is lower than the actual market value. You forced the property value up. So now, like, the time doesn't matter for you. That's exactly that would be my suggestion always. But again, a lot of people have a misconception that summer would be the best time, because there will be more properties on the market, but at the same time there will be more buyers. So winter, there'll be less properties on the market, and also like less buyers, because it's a winter time. So it's always like, at the end there is a balancing out. So at the end, it's your personal situation too. Like, if you're financially ready now, if you have finances ready, if you find a right property, the numbers make sense, why don't you buy now instead of waiting for next summer? And who knows what's going to happen with your finances in next summer. Knock the wood, hopefully you'll be in a better position than today, but still, like, no one can predict the future, right? So coming back, I love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Is winter better or summer better? Summer or winter or fall? Let me know in the comments. Also, another popular question I got in recent times, here I'll put on the screen. How can students working part-time buy real estate with 5% down? Is there a rebate for taxes imposed on foreign investors? So a really good question. And also I'm super happy to hear from people who are coming as students thinking of buying real estate. That's a great mindset. So kudos to you. So when you're when you're a student working as a part-time, unfortunately, you're still a non-resident to Canada. So at that point, you need a higher down payment. But the good news is you can find partners, maybe find someone who has permanent residency, who can qualify for, traditional mortgage. Now you and him split the cash, or you find a good deal. You learn how to analyze the deal, you learn how to find the deals, and present the deal to the partner who is who qualifies for the mortgage. So now you can still buy the property when you're a student, right? So you just need to build that skill to find that deal. You need to build that skill to how to you need to know how to which deal is a good one, which deal is a bad one. So if you're worried about, like, you don't get a mortgage for 5% down, but yes, at that point when you're a student, yes, you cannot get for 5% down. Even you cannot get for 20% down. Most likely you will need 35% plus, if you're looking on yourself. And at that point you don't have any tax grants because you're still technically a foreign investor. But if you have a partner who is a major shareholder, then you would qualify for that less down payment, 20% down. So look for the right partners. That would be my advice. And also, like, this is the time you got to learn about investing, and go work with someone who is who knows about investing, because now you're studying, but after your studies you will be getting a job. Now you will qualify for mortgages, but within this 1 year time period, or 1.5 year time period, if you find a mentor who is like, do whatever it takes to help them and learn firsthand, because you be there, find that door, do the door knocking for that person, or do whatever it takes to please that person so he can teach you about investing. So now you're equipped with the knowledge. You know all the strategies, and as soon as you got your job, as soon as you saved up money, that's another part, like, save as much money as possible when you're in this study permit, when you're working part-time. So gain the knowledge, save up your cash. If you cannot find a partner, as soon as you get a job, once you have more than 3 months experience, there are a lot of lenders who will lend you for 5% down. That's when you go on full force, get that property for 5% down. Hope that makes sense if you're in that situation. So another question here from Joe. Hi Aditya, good evening from Toronto. Good evening, Joe. I've been following your fantastic videos. Thank you so much, Joe. Thanks, and keep it up rolling. Sure, definitely. Just landed in Toronto 3 weeks back. Wow, fantastic. I'm super happy to see someone just landed and thinking about real estate. Kudos to you, man. Need your guidance on how newbies should start real estate. So the first step is, you need to know what's out there, what is available, what you can do. So first step is to start learning. So there are multiple ways you can start learning. Number one, the best way is to attend some networking events. Find whichever the city you're in that pocket, see if there is any networking events going on related to real estate. And the best source that I know in online is the Bigger Pockets. That's my guru, where I started from. So join the Bigger Pockets, find like-minded people in your area, start networking, start having a coffee chats with them, and start learning. And also, like, read books and jump on the podcast, learn, hear to the podcast, and stop listening to music, stop listening to the crap in your car, start listening to podcasts. Now learn as much as possible. So when you're learning in the process, you will understand, okay, maybe you will qualify for a mortgage now, or maybe you got to find a partner, you got to find the deal. So now your brain start to think. So that would be my first suggestion. So once you do that, like, now maybe once you save up some money, and once you qualify for a mortgage, or once you find a good deal, you find a partner, because now you're in that network. So once you have a great deal or really good numbers property, you can easily find a partner. And the other way around, if you are ready with the finances, because you're in that group, you can find a deal. So keep yourself in that loop. And let me see another question here. Oh wow, huge question. So this question I received on Instagram. As a new immigrant, I see I cannot afford a house in Toronto, as the prices here are skyrocketing, at least for me. The good news for now is I'm working from home. So I would like to know if it's possible for people like me who live in Toronto and want to move and buy a house in Windsor, still working for a company in Toronto area. That way I can stay in one portion while renting out the other portion. Really, really good question. And I have helped at least 30, 40 clients in last 1.5 year do exactly the same thing. So there are lenders out there lending for 5% down in your exact same situation. If you are working from Toronto or working in any bigger city and you have a work from home option, their lenders would allow you to go because your employer saying that you don't have to be in person. So now that means you can clearly qualify for that mortgage. So go buy a house hack, come to Windsor, and find a duplex, triplex, and live in one unit. Let the other units pay your mortgage. So now you're almost living for free. So that way you don't have to worry about skyrocketing cities, because that's a big part. If I would have been in Toronto, maybe I could not even done what I would do, because Windsor is still a affordable city where you can still find good duplexes. Before live, like from last live and this live, I got two really good properties for my two clients. One was like a duplex with an additional unit in the basement, a non-conforming. We got it for like 535,000, and the property was cash flowing like 500 has is. And if they increase the rents, get one tenant out and increase the rents, they would be like 1,500 cash flow. So if you cannot find those in bigger cities, so especially if you're starting out your career right now, the smaller cities are the best option to start with. Of course, that's my strong recommendation to do. And Venkatesh asks a question: fixer upper versus ready to move in, since labor is expensive in Canada compared to states. Great question, Venkatesh. So it really depends on. So especially if you're looking to fix a property and sell, then you got to be very careful. First of all, you got to find a really good deal. You got to buy literally the deal that where you are making money right on the go, on the buy. That's key number one. Number two, you got to account for the expenses, the renovation cost, as per the current labor, current material cost. Because if you don't do account that numbers into account, if you don't do your numbers according to the actual expenses that are occurring with the current situation, now you're likely to go into the negative. So if the property makes sense, even after you do the numbers with the current material cost and current labor cost, if the deal still makes sense, then only buy. If the deal doesn't make sense, then don't buy. Because that's one of the reasons why I don't do that many flips. It's not easy to find that kind of deals, especially when you're just starting out. I would rather go for the properties that where I can creatively add value. That's a big part in my portfolio, where I always look for, okay, how can I creatively add a 2 units, or how can I add extra bedrooms in my property? How can I find ways to increase my income? That's when I started doing this, adding a basement suite, adding a detached ADU. So you got to find unique ways, like value adding opportunities, to increase your property value. But the biggest thing is, for fixer upper, you need to find the deals, good deals. So you need to market yourself really hard to get those good deals. Okay, let me take some questions here on Instagram. Wholesaling is good for students, I guess. Someone giving a statement, or yeah, so that's another good point. Okay, someone mentioned passionate plain. Thank you. That's a value add in. For if you're a student, you don't qualify, start with wholesaling or start with joint venture. If you don't know what's wholesaling, it's a very simple concept. You find a property where the seller is looking to sell immediately, or seller doesn't want to put it on the market, he just want to sell, and you put that on contract for X price. Let's just for the number's sake, let's say you put that property on contract for 500,000, and the property actually on the market valued at 600,000, and now you find a buyer, an investor, or someone who is willing to pay 550 or 560 or 570 or 580. So now whatever the difference is, that's your profit. So that's wholesaling. So you can do a wholesaling, start making money, and while you're learning, because now don't forget, if you have to do if you have to find a property, now you need to learn how to find the property. You need to learn how to negotiate to put it on contract. You need to learn how to do the numbers to put it for the right number on contract. So you're learning all these skills, but at the same time, if you do it right, you will be earning as well. So learn while you're earning, And then when you have stacked up money, when you qualify for mortgage, then buy and hold. So that's like a more different businesses, active business and the passive business. Passive business is where you're, buying the buy and holds, and the active business is you're making money from that transaction. Even like my sales, like, as a realtor, I'm making active business, right? So that's a great point. Thank you, passionate. Appreciate the knowledge about RE investing, Aditya. You're welcome, Gurkula. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. My Toronto real estate agent looking for JV partners. Everyone is looking for JV partners, bro. So you gotta show what value you're bringing in. I'm looking for a JV partner in Ontario. I'm from BC and way too expensive here. Yep, that's true. You just need to find ways to find the right JV partner. Let's get mortgages.ca. I love that name. Best wishes from London. Thank you, brother. Don't look like I qualify for 5% down. I'm on SOWP. So again, student work permit. So all the suggestions I just gave, you can follow all those things. I just wanted to check in if you are more input on this. On what, Naresh? Sorry, I missed your question. Probably I don't see the question. Do you find properties to flip now that everywhere it's bidding war? This is Shaheen. Sorry, that's I'm glad you mentioned the name. So thank you, Shaheen. You got to work hard, right? Like to find properties for flipping, you got to really work hard. You got to find good wholesaling people within the city. You got to have some contacts with the realtors. You got to do your own marketing, because for flipping you need a lot more margin to sell. That's where the burst strategy burned. But for flipping, definitely you need to do your own marketing as well if you really want to do the flipping as a business. But on the market you can still find properties, like you got to find the properties that have some problems, where other people don't want it. And if you know that you can fix that problem with a creative way, with a less expense, then that deal would make a good money as a flip. So you just need to keep on looking. You got to analyze like a lot more properties than before every deal was a deal. But now you got to analyze like 50, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 deals to get a good deal under contract. So definitely it's a lot more competition. But one thing I can promise you, there is still ways you can make money. Let me see more questions here on YouTube. Question by Sahil. HELOC versus appraisal, refinance, which is better? So first of all, let me clarify this. HELOC means a secured line of credit, home equity line of credit, which is secured against your property. So if you have equity, extra equity in your home, the lenders, especially for primary homes, the banks will allow you to take that equity, have access to that equity through line of credit. So which is like kind of a loan. But if you have a line of credit instead of refinancing, so when you refinance, you have whatever the equity they give you as a cash. So when you refinance, when you take that cash, now if you don't have a deal but you're still paying money monthly basis for the mortgage, because you already like put a new mortgage and they gave you whatever the equity left in your deal after paying the old mortgage. So whereas HELOC, so the same equity, you're doing the refinance. So in both the cases, you're doing the refinance. But when you're doing the refinance, especially if the banks are willing to give you HELOC, so that equity. So let's take an example. Let's say you're buying again same property. Let's go for, you have a home that is worth around 300,000. Sorry, that has a mortgage around 300,000, and your current value of the home is 500,000. So just bear with me here. Try to imagine 500,000 is your value. Your current mortgage is 300,000. So the banks will be willing to lend you up to 80% on the value, new current market value. So now the bank is willing to lend you up to 80%, which is 400,000. 80% of 500,000, which is 400,000. Whereas you have the existing mortgage 300,000. So the difference that you can take into your pocket is 100,000. So when you do the refinance, if you say I just want all the cash, so they pay your old mortgage 300,000 and left 100,000 will give you as a cash. and now your mortgage starts from the day one for 400,000, because that's the new mortgage, right? So when it's a refinance, plain refinance, now you start paying mortgage like principal plus interest on the 400,000. But instead, if you ask them, if the lender, again, only certain properties they'll give you the HELOC. If you qualify for HELOC, that 100,000, you can say them, hey, I want this 100,000 in the HELOC, not as a cash. So now your mortgage amount doesn't change. You kept that 300,000, the old mortgage has is, you just added extra line of credit for your property. So now you have extra 100,000, a line of credit. When you have a deal, let's say you find a deal after 6 months, now you can use this money. Of course, this line of credits are generally interest only payments, so that means you don't have a compounding effect, but you still, like, if you're taking amount for long term, you're still paying the compound impact. But at the end, if you have this line of credit, you can pay back again, and then you don't have to pay the mortgage, you don't have to pay the loan principal interest on this amount. So the difference is, line of credit will allow you to take whenever you want and put back, so save that interest whenever you want. Whereas the refinance, just a plain refinance, you just pay mortgage from the day one. So some people are, they might be too much spenders. They take that 100,000, when they see that, maybe they go buy a good luxury car. So when they have a line of credit, now they say, oh, it's still a rent, it's still a mortgage, so I have to better use carefully, or I have to use only when I have a investment opportunity come in. Sorry, one second, guys. I'm going to drink some water and I'll ask for a charger. Mamta, can you get me a charger cable for the phone? My phone battery is about to die, so I just need that cable so that I don't lose the Instagram audience there. Okay, so hope that makes sense. And if you still have any questions, let me know. I'll give you my thoughts if you still didn't get that difference between the plain refinance and refinance with a HELOC. And Joe asks, thank you so much. We'll be reading books and following the steps. Awesome. Cable, charging cable. So what books? Awesome. Just say he's taking questions. Let me go back to here. Comments. Manas. Hey Aditya, thanks for holding this information session. You're welcome, Manas. How to go about checking random levels when buying a new or resale homes? What do you mean by random levels when you're buying a new or so one best way is to go find a realtor who can help you to analyze your situation and show you different properties. But I'm still not 100% sure about your question. Please elaborate a little bit. What do you mean by checking random levels? Okay, in the meanwhile, let me take other questions here. Yep. So hook up the perfect. Okay, so here I got another question. Hey Angie, I'm planning to buy my second home around 250,000. I cannot refinance my first property. Any suggestions how to get 20% down? Very good question. So first of all, I cannot refinance my first property. So you got to look into why you cannot refinance. Maybe you don't have enough equity or what. So check on that one. But here, how you can find that remaining 20% down to buy another home? You can find a JV partner, like I was just mentioning. Find you find the deal. If it's a good deal, you can ask for so I'll give you my example, personal. You can ask for an investor to put that money, sharing for the profit. So on my third deal, I had a good deal that in my hand. I asked one of my friend's friend, hey, here's the property. Here's what the numbers look like. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how much I need for this project. I need 20% down plus renovation cost another 20,000. And I'll give you your money back within 1 year after I do the renovations and refinance the property. So he looked at the numbers. It made sense to him. He said, sure, I'll give you that money. So that's how I shared the profit. So whatever the profit we made on the deal, I said it's 50-50, and we still kept that property. We refinanced it. I gave his money back, the down payment and the renovation cost, and he still own 50% share on the profits, and I still own the 50% share on the profit. So the mortgage pay down, the market appreciation, the cash flow, everything is 50-50. And any lenders can help me. So refinance side, first go talk to your current bank, see what's your current market value. So if you have enough equity to refinance and pull the money out, you should be able to qualify and do that. But again, have a good mortgage person. So whichever the city you're in, find a good mortgage agent who is, who understands the refinance process. Most of the lenders do. Only thing is, your property need to have enough equity in order for you to pull that money out. Hope that makes sense. I think I answered that question, answered that. Yeah, so I just explained about HELOC and refinance, which is better. Honestly, it depends on your personal situation. If you have like literally an investment ready, refinance and plain money, take it out and put it in that one. That's fine. Personally, I like the HELOC thing because HELOC gives me a flexibility I can use whenever I want. And here, sorry if I don't pronounce your name correct, D3 Rold. I don't know. Is it realistic to be a realtor part-time? I know there are some realtors that are doing part-time who are still crushing it, but it's not going to be easy, right? Because look at this way: if you're working full-time, you're already spending your majority of your energy in that 8 hours, and then part-time, so you need a lot more energy to crush that 8 hours, another 4 or 5 hours during that day. So yeah, it's doable. There are human missions who are crazy, who can make it work. It really depends on you, how committed you are. So let me take the follow-up question for Anji here. I do have equity, but because my mortgage type, bank is not allowed me to get equity. Oh, so yeah, that's another problem. I have seen sometimes the lenders does not allow for refinance. So another best way is sell that home. If you have good equity and you already made good money, if it's your primary home, you don't have to pay any taxes. Sell that property. I did sell my first home for the same reason, because I didn't had enough equity to pull the money out. But when I sold, the value was much more higher. So I sold the property and I took all the money, because it's no capital gain. So if you have like 100,000, so you're saying 100,000 increased, so you have freaking 100,000. So now take that 100,000, now you use another 5%. So if average home prices in your city is 250,000, go buy one property for 5% down. So now for 5% of 250,000, probably less than 12-15,000. So 15-20,000 for that property, and still you have 80,000. So you can buy another property. So literally, if you sell that one property, you can go buy two properties and still have some more extra cash. So that would be my suggestion. Look into selling. And Varun Brun, sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. I'm on work permit. Should I invest now on pre-construction home, first time home, or should I wait until I get PR? Is it possible for me to get mortgage at 5% down from the bank rather than private lender? So Varun, I was just covering this topic before. I bought my first home for 5% down when I was on work permit. So there are lenders out there. You got to talk to, lot of mortgage people. There are a few lenders who will lend you for 5% down or 10% down. So go find those. So that way you can buy for 5 or 10% down for your first home on a resale home. But if you want to buy a pre-construction, still it's a great way too. Only difference is, for pre-construction, you might have to pay a little bit more down payment, and you will be making money over the long period. Both options are good. Depends on your personal situation, and depends on, if you want to buy a property and move in right away, because both have their own advantages. The pre-construction have its own advantage. The resale homes have its own advantages. But if you don't qualify, if all the lenders said you don't qualify for 5% or 10% down, then maybe pre-construction is your option. By then you will get your PR, and then you can go buy, once you close that deal, you might be qualified for 5% or 10% down at that time, and you can take your equity out at that time. So yeah, it depends on your situation. Okay, let me keep up with these questions here. Question from Neon. Please give me an idea about the best cities to invest in right now. Also tell which person should go for burst strategy and which one should go for house hacking. So for house hacking, no question, because you gotta be a home buyer. You wanna move into that house. So um, let's take one topic at a time in this question. So first, best cities. Like I said last week, my team is working on that research. We'll get that video soon, probably in next month. Um, still, I'm still investing in Windsor because I still feel Windsor is solid for cash flowing properties and burst strategies and all those things. But keeping that aside, let's talk about the house hacking. So who should buy house hacking? Especially if you're looking to buy a house for you to move in. So if you're looking to buy that 5% down or 10% down, why do you want to buy $1 million home where you're going to occupy the whole house and you have a freaking huge debt? I'm not a big fan of it. Even my current home that I'm living in is less than 500,000, because I don't want to increase my debt. I even have a basement suite in my house because I have my parents now. I'm not renting it, but before I used to rent. Because now your debts are low, you can go invest more money, especially if you're young. If you're looking to grow your portfolio, you want to have a financial freedom, then do house hacking until you get that freedom. Once you have the freedom, once you have a financial freedom, then you can go buy a luxury home. I heard a story from a book. I wish I remember the book name, something Babylon or something. There is a really cool story he tells, and that stuck with me forever. You gotta buy assets. Like he gives a goat, sheep's example. You gotta buy like 2 sheeps, and if you gotta make sure the sheeps are eating well and they're producing more sheeps. So if you start eating those sheeps, if they produce 2 kids and you cut them and you eat them, and now you don't have any more sheeps, you only have 2 of them, you lost. So whereas Rich Man in the Babylon, thank you, Sahas, that's a book. So he says, like, now you produce the sheeps and help them to produce more and keep on adding more. So you have like so many sheeps. Now they make kids, they keep on making kids. Now even if you eat 1, 2, 3, 4, because you have like 20 or 30 sheeps that are making kids, so now even if you eat 3 a month, you're still fine, because your whole group of 20 or 30 sheep that you have that are making more sheep. So they're making more sheep than you can eat. That's the time you can live that luxury. So bringing that example back into the real estate, you're going to have more units that are making positive cash flow. So if you're at a place where your cash flow is more than way more than your living expenses, now you're financially free. Now even if you buy, like, you have like 50,000 cash flow coming in every month, if you spend 15, 20, 30,000, you're still fine, because you still have that extra funds. You can still reinvest. You have equity, solid equity in different properties. So that's my giveaway on that, who has to do house hack and all those things. So sorry, it's a long example, but that's something I'm really excited to talk about. Okay, so we covered on that one. Devin, I'm in the middle of closing my first rental property from refinance. How do I get money to buy the second rental property? Okay, middle of refinancing your first property, fantastic. So if you're getting enough money to buy the second property, then now you just need to find the deal. How can I get money for second rental? Okay, I'm a little confused. You're in the middle of closing my first rental from refinance, and how can I get my second property? So if you're refinancing your first property, you're getting money from that, go find another property with that money and go buy the second rental. If my understanding of your question is right, that's exactly what burst strategy is. So if you're looking to grow your portfolio, you got to do more burst strategies. If you don't know what's BRRRR, like I explained in the last live, in many other videos, you buy the property, add value in a creative way so that you can pull your initial investment that you put, the money you put in. When you refinance after 6 months or 1 year or 1.5 years, when you refinance, now you have more equity again, you go buy another one. If you cannot refinance, go find a really good deal and find a JV partner who can lend you money, who can be a partner with you, or find a private partner, find a BRRRR strategy and refinance and give the money back to the private partner. So you either get your money from your property or get money from other people. That's my suggestion. Tarun, is it possible to buy the first home in Canada while on work permit? I answered this question multiple times so far. Yes, definitely. There are possibilities. Go talk to different mortgage people, because I don't know your financial situation. I don't know what you're doing currently. I don't know if your job has been your full-time or part-time. I don't know if you have a consistent income. So go talk to a mortgage guy who will look into your personal financing situation. There are lenders who will lend for 5% down on work permit. You're welcome, Anji. Let me see questions here. So for your first rental properties, should you aim to get a property that targeted more for cash flow or appreciation, assuming you have intentions to buy a second property as soon as possible? So it depends on. So if you're looking to buy your first rental property, I would ask, are you a first-time home buyer? If you're a first-time home buyer, here's what I did. On my first property, I purchased a house hack for 5% down. And for renovations, I took money from the bank. So technically, I didn't add any money into the deal, not that much. For 200,000 property, if you're putting 5% down, only 10,000. So you don't have any equity. And if you qualify to take money from the bank for renovations, so now technically you don't have money in the deal. So because you're living in one unit, you're renting out the other unit. If you have income coming in and that income is good enough to pay your mortgages and expenses, now you're technically living for free. So now find ways to save more money or make more money and find the second property. But for the second one, make sure you buy the property where you can add value, or buy the property for a discounted price. So that's where now you got to become more creative. Now you got to be more active. You got to be more self-sufficient to find a good deal. So once you have a good deal, now you can increase the property value by doing creative renovations and refinance after 6 months or 1 year. So now go do again. Now you have two properties. So after 2 years, now you can do another one, because now you have built equity on your first one. Now you have built equity in your second one. You can refinance your second one, or maybe even refinance first one after 1.5 years. You can go buy another one. So you keep doing that for next 5, 6, 7 years, and you will end up with that Babylon story. You'll have a lot of ships. That's a financial freedom. How can I invest my money in real estate without buying a property? I already have 3 properties and don't want to buy anymore. Fantastic, Pooja. That's a great question. That's exactly why there are creative partnerships, JV partners. So, here are the different JVs that I do personally. So we are doing a flip right now. We are raising money from the investor. So there are a lot of investors who don't want to do anything. They don't even want to know what the property is, but they want to lend for right people who knows what they are doing, who has a good credibility, who has good income source and all. So now they lend the money for 12%. So we are paying our investors 12% on their money, and plus they have the first mortgage lien on the property. So if for some reason, if we don't end up paying that 12% interest for them, they got the property. Again, I don't want that to happen, and that most likely will not happen. Again, that's the reason you got to find the right partners. So that's one way, private lending. Number 2, you can find, again, like I said, gave an example before where I found a really good deal and I just had a JV partner. So who was bringing in the money, who is bringing in the credit for the deal, and I'm bringing the deal and I'm taking care of the renovations. So literally they are getting the 50% on the whatever the returns we make on that deal. So now, because you have that active partner and you're the passive partner, so pretty much you're making your money work for you instead of you working for that money. So that's the two different roles, right? Like in real estate, you can always choose which role you want to be. It's no wrong with it. And there are other different ways you can invest in, dividend paying solid stocks. I invest in stocks as well. I have some stock portfolio in my RRSPs and TFSA, and I invest in companies like blue chip companies. Again, I'm not an advisor, so don't take my advice as a 100%. Talk to your professionals. A disclaimer, I gotta save my ass. But there are a lot of companies you can find, those blue chip companies who don't mind paying like 7-8% dividend every year. So that's another way. Okay, Dayu, it's been impossible to schedule a time with the good recommended contractors. Would you say it's okay to go with a less reputable contractor, oversee them doing their work? I mean, again, here's the do you. It's not about like just the good recommended. Maybe you gotta feel the person, right? If you like the person, even though he doesn't have that much popularity, but he's a good guy, you like him. I work with some contractors who doesn't no one even knows about them, but I like them personally. They're honest people, they're a little bit cheaper, they're good people. That's okay to work with. But you personally need to interview them, make sure you feel good about that person. But if you feel like this person is junky and you want to still give him a chance, no, I would not do that. But if I like the person, even though they doesn't have the character like reputation, maybe they're just starting out, or maybe they're low key people, they don't want to shout too much on the roof on the social media and all those things. So it's okay, that's totally fine. You got to feel okay with the people. Hope that makes sense. Okay, the next question here. Would you recommend investing in states? Aditya GGG. Sorry, GGG, what's your name? Hope to see your name, man or woman. Sorry, I don't want to be discriminating here. I mean, again, at the end, it's all about your investing strategy, right? I'm trying to learn about the states. I still haven't invested because still for me, Windsor is still making sense. Still, I'm buying properties in Windsor. And by the way, I just got a property yesterday after the live last week. Yesterday, I found a property in a upcoming neighborhood. If you heard in a Forest Glade, I just want to give an update about me. Um, Forest Glade, no, sorry, not Forest Glade, Ford City. It's a little bit rough area still. It's coming up, but I got this cool 2-bedroom unit from a wholesaler, and there is an opportunity to put a tiny home in the back. So I'm going to do another ADU on that one. So I'll keep you guys posted with how it's going to go. So again, I'm also learning about states. I have a couple of friends who are telling me about the states. Actually, I'm investing passively on a states project. My good friend Dan Crosby, known as Lambo Lapdog, they have a really cool project, multifamily. They are buying in Miami, so they send me the details. Like, it sounded very cool to me, and I'm investing my money as a passive partner on that deal. So I'm still learning, to look into states. So it really depends on your personal situation. If you know some contacts, or if you're interested in states and you can find some right ways to invest, yeah, why not? Your story is truly inspiring, both. Thank you, Jawan. Happy to hear that. Sorry, Kerry. Put me the next question. 6 rounds. I love that name. Can there ever be a scenario where your property does not rent out? Like, for the most parts, properties like condos get rented out all the time, right? I mean, so yeah, there will be scenarios where properties will not be rented out. There could be multiple reasons, right? Maybe you're not maintaining the property well, or you did not market the property well on all the platforms, or you're not doing something right. That's why the property is not renting, or you're not asking for the right rent. Maybe you're asking too much. So yes, there will be scenarios. So first of all, you got to evaluate why this is not renting. You got to ask questions, or ask co-investors in your area, hey, this is a property, can you look into it, tell me why this property is not renting. So if you're talking to right friends, not your sister, brother, not your cousin, who doesn't invest, ask the people who are investing in your city. Who That's why networking is very important. So ask them, see if they suggest, oh, maybe you got to do these changes, or maybe you already figured out. So go fix them and try again. So same thing happened for one of my unit before. I was asking for 1800 on a 3-bedroom that is like okay condition, and it didn't rent out for 1 month. And I asked my property manager, what happened, like why it's not renting for 1 month? And then she said, like, I don't want to say that because you asked for 1800, I rented for 8, I put it for 1800. And then why didn't you suggest me? Now I was fighting with her. I said, okay, forget about me, you tell me what's the right rent. And she said, I think your best rent for on this one is like 1550, $250 less. I was still okay because I'm still making good cash flow on that property. I'm like, sure, then let's rent it out, then let's go do it. So within like 2 weeks the property rented. So in that case the price was the case. Another situation, there was like they didn't market enough, and it didn't rent for 3 weeks. And I told them, like, rent on the marketplace, post every day, remove the ad and post again every 2 days, and we were able to rent within 1 week. So it's different strategies. You got to be missing somewhere, and you got to find those issues and resolve those issues. And if it still doesn't rent, maybe something wrong with your property, go fix it, or just sell the property, make your profit, and go find another place where you can rent quickly. That's the last option. I don't want to go there, but YouTube ruined my name. It's Adam. Thank you, Adam. Good to know. Carrie put up the next question. Best deals, Nijan, are there on or off market deals? Are they on or off? So I bought more than 70% of my deals are on the market, Nijan. Yes, on the market. Only 30% of my deals are off market. Even my 17-unit building was on the market. My first home on the market. My second home on the market. A lot of properties are on the market. You got to look what other people are not looking for. You got to look at those, in a creative way, not just like a regular way. Oh, kitchen looks beautiful, let me go jump on the bidding war. No, that doesn't work. If you're looking to invest, you got to look more than that. Okay, how is the basement look like? Can I add more rooms in the basement? How is the height in the basement? Or is there a room for attic? Can I do some rooms in the attic? Or is the lot size good enough? Can I build an ADU in the back? Or if the duplex can give a vacant unit. So you got to look at all those different options where you can find creative ways to increase your property value. So now when you start looking with that hat, you can find deals anywhere. You got to look everywhere, not just the MLS. I would say always look at everywhere. Buy deals anywhere. That's why one of the reason why when you're working with Vincity team here in Windsor, again I'll do a self promotion here, guys, bear with me. We don't put any buyer agreements with our especially investors, because the reason is you don't know where the deal come from. And just be honest with us. Just hey, I'm looking at the deals everywhere. If when we are looking at all the properties, if you find it, fantastic. If you find some other deal from off market and we can help you, fantastic. If we cannot help you to somewhere else, hey, you know what, just keep us in the loop. Okay, communicate with us, we are fine with it. And that's what a lot of investor focused realtors would be like that. If not, you got to change your realtor. Okay, the next question. After buying a couple of properties, buying power reduces. How do you get around? Sumant, great question. That's exactly why I got into multifamily, 17-unit building. That's exactly the same reason. So once you get to that position, yes, but still there are lenders. If you're buying cash flowing properties, here is the key, guys. You got to buy cash flowing properties, period. If it's not cash flowing, sell it, make the profit, move on to the next property. So only keep the cash flowing properties, rest of them make the profit and move on. Because now there are a lot of lenders will lend you. There are maybe not lot, but there are definitely handful of lenders who will lend you, continue to lend you if you have a good cash flowing properties, because they look at your equity, your asset value, and your income from the properties as well. And if none of them does the work, get into multifamily. That's exactly where multifamilies are. And again, it's not that easy, but if it is easy, everyone would do it, right? So hope that answer makes sense to you. Carrie, next question, please. So today I'm doing a stand-up live, so I can just break my body. I gotta take a break. Standing on one position definitely freezes your body, so do some workout with me. Stretchings. Okay. So Adam, again, is there an option to BRRRR in Ontario? Is there even an option to BRRRR in Ontario? Yeah, definitely, man. I'm in Ontario. I'm in Windsor. I'm boring. The property I just bought yesterday also boring, and a lot of our clients, we're helping at least like 6, 7 clients a month just looking for projects, and rest of them are turnkey, other investors, different investors. But yeah, definitely there are burrs. There are different cities. You gotta find those, and find the right deal. Like I said, you gotta always keep on looking. Meher, sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. How can I hire other agents and own real estate company as I don't want to work for brokers like Remax and Sultan? Please answer my question. Thank you. Meher, here is the key. If you want to open your brokerage, you can open. If you love that brokerage side. Personally, I'm not a big fan. That's exactly why I joined EXP. So EXP, even though you're with a brokerage, you're not paying any fees for them. You're actually making money in return. I have a reel coming up. I have literally like a 250,000 sitting in my stock account in the EXP company, just because I chose them to work with them as an agent with them. But still I can have my own team and still make money from that. And still, like, you can hire more agents to the brokerage and you get referrals for that, like on an ongoing basis. So that I can talk more about that option. But if you love to open your own brokerage, go open it. No one is going to stop you. Just be more creative. It's a little bit more, lot more work to manage all the transactions. You got to have a right broker of the record who can review the transactions properly so that you don't get into trouble. But personally, that's where this new type of brokerage, that EXP, the new model they came up with, for the same people like you and me who are like, who don't want to be under some brokerages where they take a lot of cut and you don't have any way to make that money back. EXP comes into picture because we have that way to money back. Like, I have my mentor who just focus on hiring more agents. So he does, he doesn't do sales like me, but he just hires, and he's making like over 800,000 a month. Yep, you heard it right. And he started like 3 years or 3.5 years ago. So the reason is, like, he's just focusing on hiring, and he can hire anywhere from the world. That's what EXP offers. So if you want to talk more, DM me EXP Reality on Instagram. I'll put you through some webinar, and we can talk more. We can jump on a call if you would like to know more about that part. Awesome. The home prices are higher. Is it better to wait or buy now? Sham, that was the first question I started with. So it really depends on your personal situation. Yes, the home prices are high in Toronto, in Vancouver, even in Windsor, the higher than last 2, 3 years, 4 years ago. But no one knows what's going to happen. Even as a professional real estate agent and investor, I have no clue. And Warren Buffett said he cannot predict the market. How can I? So, but you can always find the right deals, buy the right deals. So you got to find for right deal. And maybe, Toronto is not your city. Go find another city where you can afford, where you can find cash flowing properties and a good deals, not like just a random deals. So if you find a good deal where you're making money on the buy, you're making money by forcing the appreciation, then you're making money. Why do you have to wait? Personally, I'm not a big fan of wait, because in waiting, so many things can happen. You might lose your interest in investing, and the market can continue to appreciate, and you're just, I know people who've been waiting for last 6, 7, 8 years in Toronto. They've been renting, and because they saw that like 200,000 prices, and they saw like 800,000 prices, they said, oh, the market gotta come back to 200,000, gotta come back to 200,000. And there are people like who bought the properties when at 200, sold at 400, and bought another one, sold at 1 million, bought another one, sold at 1.5. There are different people. It really depends on, if you're good with the finding a good deals, anytime is a good time. Are you looking for someone to hire? Is there so much to learn shadowing you, man? No, for sure. Yes, right now we are looking to hire a transaction coordinator who is good with paperwork, organizing, who is going to work with me directly on listing properties, communicating with me, and they'll be learning a lot. But have to be present in Windsor. So I'm not looking for virtual. Please don't send me emails if you're looking for virtual. But if you're present in Windsor, you want to learn from me and work directly for Win City, We are looking for a transaction coordinator role. So DM on Instagram or send us an email with your resume, info@vincity.re. Carrie, if you don't mind, can you put that email on the screen so that people can see it? So guys, if you don't know, Carrie is my assistant here who is going to help me with all these questions and putting them on the screen. So say hi to her and thank you for all the back-end support Carrie and Sahaz does for me on these lives. So please say thank you for Carrie on the chat. Okay, the next question. Let me see some questions here on Instagram. DW Investments. Love the name, DW Investments. If a contractor is known to give some headaches, would it be better to keep an eye on them or as they do their work? The good contractors are all booked and impossible to schedule. I think I answered that question just now. Like, so yeah, again, if the contractor is a good guy, just keep an eye. If he gives some headaches, but depends on how much headaches, right? Like if you can handle the headaches, I know a contractor which I worked in the past. He was like pain in the butt. I should not say that, but like I stopped hiring him. I don't hire him anymore. But I kept with that for that one project because he was like almost halfway through. I paid half money, and I was like, if I go for another one, it's going to cost me double. So I kept for that project. Just make sure I kept my the emotions at low. I was trying to be like creative way, keep his emotions low so that he can finish the project and I can say goodbye after the project, so I don't have to lose money. But there are situations where if they are way more than you can handle, fire them and go find a good one. Harina Dawa, sorry if I pronounce your wrong name, brother. Aditya, I have a decent job. I want to buy a house in London, so I need to pay down 5%. It's 40,000. So as of now, I only have 50% of it right now. Can you suggest me? Is there any other third party lender? Yeah, of course, there are other lenders who lend you for private money, but the best people who can lend you is your own circle. Go talk to someone in your own circle. If they believe you, if they know that you have a strong income, if you can convince them, pay them like 5-6% or whatever, because private lenders, it's going to be second mortgage. They're going to charge pretty high, 15%, 14% when it's a second mortgage, especially on a 80-90% loan to value. But there are lenders, so you can definitely find within your family, within your network. Sunil, Aditya Soma, would you like to know about Windsor rental property? Would you let me know about Windsor rental property? What would you like to know about Windsor rental property, brother? If you were looking to invest here, of course, me and my team, we are happy to jump on a call with you. Mm, Carry, so I will leave a link in the description or go on to my bio. You will see a contact us link. So click on that link. We'll fill in the basic questions. Me or my team will reach out to you within a day or two, and we can help you with that. Not a problem. Not sure if my question went through it. Is it helpful to watch contractors as they? Yep, I think I just answered. Sorry, it took a little longer. Is it hard to qualify for mortgages if you're self-employed but have an income? Mike, I'm also self-employed. I do qualify. Now, depends on how long you've been self-employed in the same industry. What's your income? How much income you're showing? There are many things, but there are a lot of lenders who do lend for self-employed people. Actually, they're more than happy to lend for self-employed, because self-employed you can make more money than the job. So yeah, just go talk to a mortgage person. Which equity do you make when build a tiny home? How much equity do you make when you build a tiny home? Behard, I'm still new to this tiny home thing, because it's still even in Windsor, we don't know how much the property is going to appraise for. But I'm hoping I can build a new home in my existing lot, so that means I don't have a land cost. Even if I can get just a 80% loan to value of the construction price, so that means like if the construction is 200,000, and if I can get a loan for 160,000, I'm still happy, because all I'm putting 40%, 40,000 for a brand new home that can rent for almost close to 1%. So which is like 1,500 to $2,000 rent. So I'm still happy even if I cannot pull all my money out, because I have a brand new home for 40,000. But again, at this point, I don't have 100% answer. Soon we'll have, because I have like 3 projects that are in the process. So once I refinance them, probably next 2-3 months, then I will have a better idea. So it looks like we are almost at 8:01 p.m. So I'm gonna answer 2 or 3 more questions. Carrie, if you can pick the questions that are I haven't answered, throw them on the screen so I can answer. Okay, Nihal, how do you estimate the price? What to offer when the houses are selling way over asking? Very good question, Nihal. That's where you need a professional who understands how to um, estimate the market value of a property. So that's where I would strongly recommend, especially when you're just starting out your career. Having a good realtor on your plate is very, very key, and the realtor can pull all the information. What are the properties sold in that area? That is something close to that. Do the math and give you an estimation of the market price for that property. In short, if you want to do by yourself, here is what you need to know: how many bedrooms the property has, how many bathrooms, what is the parking, what's the structure, what is the exterior, how old is the roof, how old is the furnace, how many parking spots you have, how big is the garage, all those elements. And now pull the data, the recent sales in that pocket, in that neighborhood, and see something close by how much they sold, and something that are similar but there are some changes. You make that adjustments based on the construction value. If there is a 1 bedroom extra, how much would it cost to build an extra bedroom? 10 to 20,000, add that in. So you do that math, and now you come to an estimated value. But in simple, work with a professional, especially when you're new. Have you invested in crypto, Vivek? I still haven't. I did in the past, and I didn't know anything. I couldn't understand anything, so I said, "F it, I'm not going to do it for now." But many people have been asking me about that. I don't know. Maybe as of now, I'm still good with the real estate and dividend-paying stocks. I don't know. Maybe if I have a good reason, I might do in future. Maybe I'll take 2 more questions for another 2 minutes. Should I do BRRRR or get a turnkey property? Hello, Shello. 123. Good name. Hope you please DM your name so that I know who you are. But yeah, definitely. Again, it depends on your personal situation, right? If you have time, if you can make time to go through the renovation process, if you can make time to understand the BRRRR strategy, always it's good to buy BRRRR strategy, because you can pull your investment out within 1 or 2 years. But at the same time, the turnkey is also a great investment too. If you cannot do the BRRRR, the second option is turnkey. On my second investment, I did a turnkey. But guess what? Because the market has been keep on appreciating, after 2 years, I refinanced that property and I pulled way more than my investment, because the market also appreciated, right? Because in Canada, because of this immigration increase, the supply and demand, there is likely chances for even the market to appreciate, and you're someone else paying your mortgage down. If you buy a cash flowing property, turnkey is also fine. The BRRRR strategy is the first option for me, and because I can handle the renovations, I can have time to go through that process. But if you don't, the second option is definitely turnkey. Hope that helps. One last question. Saniminder Deep. Sorry, bro, if I pronounce your name. Aditya, is it possible to buy a rental property in today's scenario in Windsor for cash flow? I'm currently living in Toronto. Bro, 1000%. Yes. I just got 2 properties for my clients. And my team helped out 4 or 5 clients in last 2 weeks. All of them are cash flowing properties, cash flowing like 500-600. And also, if you want to love cash flow, I have a great news. I have a property coming up into the market next week. It's 13 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, fully updated. 7 bedrooms currently rented for $4,000 income, which with the current price that seller is asking, yeah, it will make like $1,000 cash flow with the 7 bedrooms rented. If the other 5 bedrooms are rented, you will make like 3,000 plus cash flow. So there are a lot of good cash flowing properties. You just need to find them. So if you are interested in that deal I just mentioned, DM us student rental. DM us student rental. We'll send the info once we have all the package ready. Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you so much. If I haven't got to your questions, please don't be mad at me, because I'll be joining again live next week, same time. We'll chat again for another hour. But in the meanwhile, if you need any help buying, selling, investing in Windsor, me and my team, we are super happy to help you guys. With that, and DM us anytime. Again, on my Instagram handle, on the bio, you will see a contact us page. So if you fill in that, we'll be happy to, jump on a call. Me or my team, we'll get back to you within 24 48 hours, and we can chat more about investing here in Windsor. With that, have a wonderful evening, guys. Thank you so much for all this active participation, and have a wonderful evening.